welcome to Sino PI. Dun 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 dun. Welcome. Oh, we never covered this. Don't forget to hit the like button, good people. The Cash App is Carceno, Carceno. Hit the like, share, subscribe button. And there will be a Patreon version to this in the same live video. So, meaning that you YouTubers are here. We're glad you're here. But you'll be seeing one portion of the video, while the full-length video shall be provided on the Patreon in its entirety. Why is that important? Because there's certain details that need to probably be revealed to flush out said story. And why make a whole nother video to do it? Make it all in one video, right? Makes it less confusing. Meanwhile, meaning I'm not going to probably come back and do another video. Easier for me. So let's kick the intro. I'm Carceno. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carceno and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world. And I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Oh, Drake and Beyonce. Drake and Beyonce. You would have thought they would be besties. But nah, not to be. You see, when this whole situation came about, Beyonce was the queen bee. As far as the popularity, everything. She was it. You don't go against Beyonce. You don't mess with Beyonce. You don't think you're better than Beyonce. You will be eviscerated. Her fan base and everything else will eviscerate you. Jay-Z and Drake were estranged. So while going through this process of being estranged, these situations turned upside down because it hurt Beyonce's chances of working with Drake. Now, in case you don't know, Drake and Jay-Z got into a little powwow about an interview he did when he talked about Jay-Z and how he loves art and all of this. And Jay-Z and Beyonce did an album together. And yeah, you know, right? And the Migos wrote some of the songs. And then it was rumored that Drake had wrote a song for them as well. Now, here it is, full circle. Everybody who understands what the scenario was and what went into what Beyonce and Jay-Z had done, and when they got together on the Scorpion album in 2016, and they put all that stuff behind them, they actually went in a room with Shock Drake. Drake and Jay-Z had to go in a room one by one, one-on-one, and have a conversation about that interview. It was years ago, and he was like, man, you're still holding on to that? So after he did the Scorpion album and worked with Jay, things were cool. So that everybody thought, they thought it's all good. they were further off than what people realize. They weren't all good. See, the problem that people didn't notice, that I noticed from day one on the spot, was Drake is not going to be kind to the situation. There's a reason he's sniffing around. Yeah, being attached to Beyonce is cool. But when you're helping and being brought in by Jay-Z saying Beyonce's working on a new album and we want you to get involved and help, and you agree, and Drake comes in and says, all right, I'm going to come in and help. Drake pops up and takes it to another level of insanity. So Beyonce's working on an untitled album, but she's got a theme that what she wants to do. She had just did like The Lion King and all of this. So she's getting ready to come into her new album. She really hasn't put one out since Lemonade. So she's like, I need, the best people around to help me out. So she was coming up with her ideas. They go to Parkwood West Studio. They're in New York. But while out there, Jay-Z got in contact with Drake and said, hey, we need you to help out on Beyonce's album. And as Jay was like, well, you could pay me back by working on B's album. She's got this thing that she's working on. So he comes over to work on the album, got 40 and saying what they want to do. What people really don't understand about the album itself is that when Beyonce came out with Renaissance, this was supposed to be her switch to doing different type of music internationally to attract other people around the world. So when all of these situations was coming about, what many people don't know is that Drake actually did a number of songs. Drake did a number of songs for Beyonce. The Dream was in there doing songs, working on her album. The Dream did a lot of Beyonce's album as far as producing. Now, Drake's job was to come in and help out with the writing on a couple of songs, and they did Heated on the album. I don't know if y'all remember the Renaissance album, but Drake wrote Heated. But Drake also had more songs on this album. But we'll get to what happened to the songs and everything else. So Drake had Heated, and they liked Heated so much, but he had written and wrote out about 2-3 songs that he had written for him and gave them to Beyonce. Beyonce loved that song that she had never heard, the Girls Love Beyonce song that he had made about her. And she thought it was amazing, so she wanted to work with him. When normally she'll be working with Kanye West and his people. Beyonce knew, look, this ain't gonna fly. Because her and Kanye are done. She's done with Kanye West. Now, what Drake did was fall back. And once Drake fell back from the situation, it became a full-on scale, different type of tone, because Jay wasn't really in contact with him. He was in contact with Beyonce's people. So they never really knew what was going on. And Beyonce's keeping everything about her album private, which Drake was doing. He was very private and moving around and not saying anything. Then a month before Beyonce's album comes out, he puts out the same type of album. He was secretly working on an album, stealing her idea of doing an EDM album. According to Drake, who's a master manipulator and a habitual liar, he influences everyone to believe that, hey, this was my idea. Me and Beyonce, we was talking about an EDM album, and I'm like, wow, I'm doing an EDM album also. So yeah, I would definitely help you in this because I'm actually doing it as well. He's claiming that's the word around the campfire that Drake was doing that. So Beyonce just basically got snaked. But we're going to get to his hypocritical ways. Don't forget, if you're on the Patreon, this thing's going to go into what we call Patreon mode. And then you'll get the full video on the Patreon before this is concluded. Now, he said basically a thief stole from another thief. Pretty much. But no thief loved to get stolen from. So Drake put out that Honestly Nevermind album a few weeks before Beyonce's album comes out. So now if Beyonce drops her album, because her date is already locked in for Renaissance, the new Beyonce album, it's completedly coming out on this date. A month before it comes out, Beyonce snatches her album and says, no, my album's not ready to come out. Beyonce tried to take every Drake song off the album, but they had to leave one, which was Heated. They left one, which was Heated, because it was already done, but the other two songs they took off the album. Drake had about 3 songs that he did, at least 3 or 4, I believe. They took them all off, took those off as much as they can. He's like, take those off. But Heated, they liked, the studio liked Heated. They said, we like this song. Well, we got to keep it on the album. We just can't lose all the songs and mess up our album. So we'll keep Heated. We'll just remove those other 2 off. So they got cut. And when the album came out, Beyonce's media and her PR team got to work. Because Drake album came out, Honestly Nevermind, her PR team sliced his whole shit. They made Drake album look like garbage. It looked like the worst thing that ever hit the earth when they got through with it. See, the house music EDM crowd is overcrowded. They're not going to let everybody into their structure. They got the people they deal with in that music genre. And they weren't going to let Drake come in and steal. They'll let Beyonce in because it's Beyonce. But they ain't going to let everybody in. And they're not going to let Drake in. And what Drake did was piss everybody off. When he did that, and Beyonce, when she came out and did her thing, it was over. But for the whole month while his album was out, people were just dogging it. This is the worst Drake album ever. What is Drake doing? He tried to go into a house and it looked like an apartment. Oh, yeah, they were roasting him. They had everything about him. Then when Beyonce came out, it was Beyonce PR team made her album sound outstanding. And Drake's looked like garbage. Beyonce shows Drake what house music really sounds like. Drake was pissed because he realized he doesn't have a PR team. Look, you see it right there. Drake tried to give house, and Beyonce said it was more like an apartment. Drake has been embarrassed because now you're going up against a mega media everything with Beyonce. They're going to tear you to pieces. Both albums to me are trash. But then I'm not really into that genre. So then to me, it would be trash. But this caused a lot of conflict because of what he did. So Jay-Z was super pissed at Drake and reached out to let him know how disappointed he was in the decision he chose to make there. He tried to explain himself the whole saying that, no, I was working on that album already, but he kept all of that a secret. And it's weird because, well, I gotta put that into the Patreon. We're going into some Patreon things. So there's some pieces I left out because of that. We'll just keep it mild here. So there's an award performance supposed to go down. Drake's supposed to do some song that he got on his album, Honestly, Nevermind. And Beyonce is going to perform. And everybody's, Beyonce's going to perform a song off her album. And Drake was supposed to perform. All of a sudden, Drake's not performing anymore. But Beyonce is. So you got to understand that. Oh, yeah. It is like this. They were mad, and Drake only had like one guy online. Academics can't beat no Beyonce. I'm going to tell you that now. They can't beat Beyonce. So let's stop there. There is no beating Beyonce. Okay? Not with the media. The Beehive and all of that. He didn't want to get involved in that at all. He always would praise her, period. He does not want to get caught into the Beehive. Yeah, you get caught in the Beehive, you getting buzzed. Bzzz. Absolutely. Now, Solange and Drake were cool, really cool. So Drake ended up explaining the situation to Solange. And Solange and Drake were having dialogue. He was talking about how creative she is and all of these different things. So he was offering to help her on her album, but explain the situation to Solange. Beyonce didn't like the fact that Solange is even thinking about talking to Drake. And now we're going into some Patreon things. So I'm going to break off from there and then go to another part, because that's when you see the full version of this video, then you'll understand. And the full version will only be on the Patreon. Now, yes. Yeah, I know. It goes down, the rabbit hole goes further. No, Drake had his little group of people, like the same people that's talking about and praising Beyonce album. Y'all are the same ones hating on Drake album, and he wrote her album, which wasn't true, but y'all some hypocrites. They had Sticky on there and Jimmy Crooks. After that, he had to bounce right back. After Certified Lover Boy, that was the last time we really heard some of Drake. And then that was it. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that when you phone it in, right, and you're helping Beyonce, you're phoning in, you're sending reference tracks on how it should sound, and then you turn around and put out the album before her to try to beat her to the punch. You don't even announce you're dropping an album. You just release it one night. I know because it was the NBA Finals, dude. It was the NBA Finals. And during the NBA Finals, yeah, during the NBA Finals, Drake released those songs. It was like Game 6. Who played in 2022? Because 2021 was the Bucks. So it was Golden State versus Boston. That's what it was. Golden State versus Boston. And right after that, they premiered 2 Drake songs. Charles, you got to cuss them out. If you ain't getting your notification, man, you go back and you hit your subscribe. Make sure you still subscribe and hit the notification bell first. Then you go to the send feedback button and saying, why am I not getting my notifications for this page? And use my channel URL, put it in there, and why am I not getting my notifications for this page? That's what that send feedback button is for. Cuss their ass out. See, I try to cuss them out for y'all, and they be like, well, they not saying nothing. So y'all got to say something. I done did all the cussing out I can do. Mm-hmm. Drake set this up the day before it came out. He was on OVO Sound announcing on Twitter that he would be premiering his own radio show, Table for One, on Sound 42. A few hours later, he made a surprise announcement on Instagram that he's going to be releasing that album. Honestly, Nevermind, later at midnight. That was right before Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Then he had that I Could Never, that was on the show, and there's a song called Confusion. And then Virgil had just died. So he dedicated the album to Virgil at Louis Vuitton, Kanye's old Yeezy clothing collaborator, his fashion designer. Yeah, then he did Falling Back. The music video is crazy. X did it, the director X, and he got Drake marrying like all these women. And then Tristan Thompson, his homeboy, is in there. He's the best man. It was crazy. This is the first Drake album that's not riddled with features, because nobody would get on this piece of shit album and ruin themselves. The only one is the Jimmy Crook song. That's it. So Drake and 21 was working on some projects together, and they had enough songs. He was like, look, let's just make an album. Drake needed a rebound. Complete rebound. Did Beyonce write anything in her career why she got other female singers blacklisted? Say no why. I probably shouldn't even be telling y'all this. Somebody who lived across the street from me, who I watched as a baby grow up, is writing for Beyonce on her new album. So trust me, it's a lot of stuff that's going to be on the Patreon that we're just going to leave it for there. Okay. Beyonce was nice enough to give her credit, writing credit on an intro on the new album. So somebody who grew up across the street from me, of course I got proof. If you're on the Patreon, you would already know. Now, the thing is, her brother, her sister, all of them, I watched them all grow up across the street. They're like family to us. But that was a huge moment, and they shared that with us because, you know. So, but Beyonce has a team of writers. Okay? She don't have time to write songs. Now, she gets paid as the writer. Beyonce will say, I wrote this song, and pay the artist for their rights. Sometimes she gives them credit, like if they're big enough, like The Dream. Oh yeah, The Dream can make it. Dream can get all the credit he wants. But see, here's the thing. Drake do the same things, and he's criticized for it, and he hates it. Like, why is he criticized and nobody else is? That's the thing that bothers a lot of people. Well, bother him is that he can't do anything. He wish he had that PR that would spin everything to his narrative in favor. But he's like what they would call low rent celebrity. Drake thinks he's an A-lister, but he really isn't. To like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and all of them, they're the extra red carpet Met Gala. Have you seen Drake at a Met Gala? No. They don't consider you one of them. They consider you a parasite. We think Drake is up there because we're in the hip hop and we know where his name is in there, but they look at hip hop as just like, you're not Travis Scott. You would see Ice Spice go places Drake cannot. He's not in that group like that. Right, Future could go there. But Drake, they don't really look at him and respect him in that fashion. How many rappers are A-list celebrities? Kanye, Drake. It's about maybe 5 or 6 that are put in that status quo. But Cardi B was there, Nicki Minaj. I'm telling you, I'm Magnum KI, baby. Dun, 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 dun. Absolutely. It changed the conversation. Because Gordo, the guy who he just did a song with, that put me to sleep, was his mouthpiece, was going out defending him. Talking about what brave and what a great piece of artwork it was, and people gonna go back and listen to the album and realize how great it was. People in the EDM bracket looked at this as, oh, he's trying to copy the guys that we already know that's doing this. He was trying to make the music like them. Instead of putting his own stamp to it, he was trying to sound just like them. And Caden's just like them. And they think it's insulting. It was a financial failure for Drake. So to make him escape this that made him look bad, he had to get back to his roots. So he jumps on an album with 21 Savage and started pushing from there. He had to come back with Her Loss and get back to his roots of being Drake. Yeah. So basically, every song on there is written by 21 Savage. 21 had already made that album. Like Knife Talk didn't even have Drake on there. The song was already completed and it had nothing to do with Drake. That was a Project Pat and 21 Savage song. Then Drake comes on there with a verse. Mm-hmm. So at that award show, that was going to get kicked to the side. All the award show stuff was going to be kicked to the side. That's the way it was meant to be. Drake was supposed to perform. He was going to do a song, and they was like, Beyonce's performing. You're not performing. What? That's right. Kick rocks. Beyonce is not going to perform if Drake is allowed to hit that stage. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's that Beyonce situation. It's going to go a lot different. We're going to get into the oh, 100%. You got so many people that helped out. You got so many people that try to make an influence or a dent or a stamp in this game as far as how far they're willing to go, what they're willing to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. A lot of y'all don't see or understand that. Y'all missed a lot of it. That's why. These opportunities change as you get older. You don't get the same chance again. So for Drake when you get that opportunity to work with Beyonce, you might not get that chance again. Definitely not now. You're done. She would work with Kendrick Lamar just to piss you off. Beyonce is vindictive. where it would chart at, probably 65. Well below what a... Oh, no, that's why he not saying anything. Drake know better than to say anything. He knew to stay quiet. You don't fight it. You don't get involved. You don't want to mess around. Nakia, I would get the highest tier you can because you don't want to miss anything. It's more information that's already on the Patreon. That's crazy. We got a 3-hour breakdown of Drake's LLCs happening. I mean, people, Beyonce, there's people that ain't here no more messing with Beyonce. Man, the mosquitoes was brutal yesterday. I didn't know what was that. Let me show you guys something. This is Beyonce's album, Cowboy Carter. See, Desert Eagle right there. See the song Desert Eagle? That's like an intro. Look right here. It is written by Miranda Johnson. It's only 1 minute and 12 seconds, but she gave Miranda Johnson credit. And to make it on a Beyonce album, after all these years in the business, and I mean, since a kid, they've been pushing her into the music business, the whole nine. Now, Miranda Johnson grew up with us, the whole nine. Well, she grew up around us. She lived right across the street from me. So she used to go to talent shows, everything. And her mom was consistently trying to make her a superstar and kept putting her in all these shows. They would fly her out in auditions. She was going to be the next Aaliyah. And I'm just like, why do you want to push her into this business? This isn't going to go well for her. Now, her performance stage name is Miranda J. So what she would do is make songs and had a whole album and everything else. And they were like, look, you got a lot of hot songs. And they start putting her with, other people in the business and saying, hey, so-and-so like your record. Like they want to perform it. You're going to get paid. This is going to be good for you. She's been background singing. She's done a lot of stuff in the shadows. So Beyonce actually gave her a shout out on the album Mm-hmm. The whole nine. Not only do I know her, I stayed with her brother in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. His house got broken into after he did the Jay-Z Unalived Mystery Analysis video. I don't even know how he did that. We've already done that on the Patreon about 3-4 years ago. This is why people should be on the Patreon. All of this stuff wouldn't be breaking news to you. Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. Because you're going down a road where Drake is not going to get in the same wavelength. But Beyonce's coming, he's going to get out of the way. When Cowboy Carter was coming, Drake got out of the way. He going to praise how great Beyonce is. But Beyonce don't deal with him anymore. He screwed that up. Because you could mess up Beyonce launch with all that nonsense. Oh, of course you know it. No, 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 no. It don't even go like that. When people don't understand or try to get involved, they're too late to the party. In other words, no, they don't. They don't want to do that. They've done nothing but sell people out their entire career. I told you on the Patreon how Beyonce got there. There's so much on the Patreon, y'all would have no idea. But this is why I'm here. I'm here to educate you and show you. This is just me on the cusp. If I type in, you go to the search, you type it in. You got Beyonce versus Nicki Minaj. the Patreon version. You seen what happened to Nicki's career since then. Beyonce ghostwriter revealed. And as you just heard here from the first time, that's already been on it. Ray J best friend clapping his cheeks. Ooh. Why Rihanna and Roc Nation beef is still ongoing. Jay-Z paid for Rosario Dawson's silence. How many of y'all knew Jay-Z dated Rosario Dawson? Not many of y'all know. Leor Cohen actually said these things. You see what I'm saying? Y'all need to, this is just the J category. Here's the key one. Jay-Z sold her out. Yeah, that's a video I didn't put on there. Serena Williams' surprising new look. Inside Jay-Z and R. Kelly's best of both worlds drama. Just because he got on a suit, don't make him a sellout. Jay-Z copying Nas since the very beginning. Jay-Z is behind Chris Brown financial woes. Here's why Beyonce is in the country music charts. The Jay-Z Dynasty album isn't what you think. Nas created the Jay-Z affair with his baby mama. Puffy had the right by Biggie after his pass to do right. Puffy had to do right by Biggie after his passing. The Jay-Z and Biggie beef. The full version of Jenny Ma video, they wouldn't let me show on YouTube. They wouldn't let me show that on YouTube, but I could do it there. Here's what happened when Carmen told Nas about Jay-Z. The real story. Let me load some more up here. Here's the full reason why major figures got blackballed by Jay-Z. This is just me tapping in Jay-Z's name. Kelly Rowland's son is really Jay-Z's kid? Ooh. Oh, wow. Go to the Casino for Life Patreon and you'll see what's going on. If you on the, that's what I'm saying. It's so much on the Patreon. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all haven't even seen everything. Beyonce and Jay-Z was fighting at dinner with friends. Beyonce didn't stop the Carrie Hilson hate. She didn't. The Patreon version of Beyonce and Solange beef explained. Pimp C and Beyonce explained. Jaguar right cycle is spinning into something weird. Drake and Jay-Z are beefing again. Nas and Tupac, Take It in Blood issue. The Haven saying he saved everybody in the crew. Why Jay-Z was bitter towards Cassidy. Dame Dash was going to be on Power until 50 Cent happened. Meek Mill still the minion, never the leader. True. This song is why Jay-Z haven't forgave the game. A$AP Rocky arrest was a Rihanna setup over him sleeping with the mistress. The truth behind Jay-Z and Tretch issue. Y'all didn't know a lot, boy. Trust me, there's a lot. Why I have no sympathy for Kanye West. That's just if I type in the name Jay-Z. There's so much on here. It's thousands of everything. That's just me typing in Jay. So anything that was related to Jay-Z would pop up in the search engine. You just put in the search engine and you good to go. Absolutely. So I'll be right back. I got to do something right fast. Because I think they're trying to do something a little crazy here. So let's see what happens here. We'll be right back. Okay. We back. Let's see if things are working now. Okay. Let's see if things are back working. I don't think they are. But we'll find out. Okay. All right. Hold on, slow down. Yeah, they try to move on me. That's crazy. Yeah, they tried to mess up my whole situation. They did not like me sharing with y'all what was going on the Patreon. Ooh. Now they finna get me mad. They gonna make me mad if they keep doing stuff like this. Now, what you seeing here is finna be something incredibly different. Now, if I just put in the word white, anything with white is gonna pop up. Wave the white flags. Russell Wilson will run for president. Okay, we're gonna wait on that one. LeBron and his white girlfriend that he hid from his entire life. Dana White, a lot of white stuff type pop up. Karen White situation. Sage still letting this white man rub in her hair was where fear of being promoted to arm white America. Oh, Bria Miles left Victor Oladipo for a white dude. It's crazy. Dana White. Yeah, down and dirty Dana. But he loves his wife. Kanye West situation. Shaq being Shaq. They're trying to bring back the Casual Killing Act. And then R. Kelly got blasted for dating young girls, but Seinfeld got $400 million for it. He was dating a girl he's been knowing since she was like 12, 13 years old. Shoshana, the #1 show in the world, Seinfeld. And he was dating this Shoshana girl who was 17 at the time. They went public on when she turned 18. And then People magazine started talking about it. He's been knowing her and friends of her family for years. He's 39. She was 18. But he's been dating that girl for 2 years prior. They just found out about it and started seeing them out in public. Jerry Seinfeld. So these are the things you find out about on the Patreon that you guys never knew about. And we take deep dives into these people's lives, and you understand that there's bigger things going on. Right. Seinfeld, praised. R. Kelly, parasite. So Jerry eventually had to leave Shoshana, but get her a job in Hollywood while he went ahead and married another woman. Now, you probably want to know about Beyonce, right? She's so squeaky clean, right? So when somebody keep telling me ain't nothing on the Patreon, I'm like, are you insane? Are you literally insane? The much work as I put into the Patreon for the last 4 years, we have the most active Patreon of anybody on Patreon. You go find somebody that's more active than me on Patreon. They don't exist. Because they've actually told me this. The company itself, a Patreon, saying we've never had this type of like activity of work. Now, how many of y'all didn't know White Man Can't Jump had a sequel involving the original cast? I know because it was proposed. But they didn't really want Wesley Snipes to be in the movie. Because of some tax scandal thing that he went to jail for the whole nine. So when they were getting ready to redo the movie, this is why they were at the award show, and they brought them out and they all saw each other and took a picture at the Oscars. There was a whole nother script involved besides the trash we got with Little Dicky, whoever that was, whatever white rapper they wanted to put in there. We break down the full script. It was a reunion movie that was supposed to happen, and it didn't. Wes was successful. He had a business, but it was starting to struggle. He had a construction business, and the business was starting to struggle because of the pandemic and everything else. I'll give you a quick run through. Just because y'all nice, I'll give y'all a quick run through of what this movie was about. This is what the sequel was. It's quick run through. Wes' business was starting to struggle through the pandemic. Woody Harrelson's character was a mess still. He worked at a grocery store and would do runs for people. So that's not Taylor Swift. No, that's not Taylor Swift. So the fact is, he never got back with Gloria. Billy and Gloria. So Billy and Gloria never got back together. So because Billy and Gloria never got back together, she had went and married some rich developer and all of this, and he died, left her like all this. But her son, they got one son together. Like, he loves basketball and playing in these tournaments, and he was supposed to play in this tournament and go into this, basketball thing. He just loves basketball. To make a long story short, this son is actually Woody's son, Billy. She was pregnant when she left Billy, and she just didn't return back because Billy wouldn't be a good father. He wasn't in a good space. But he finds out that that's his father, and then Billy begins to train him on the game of basketball, start teaching him things that he didn't know, so get him ready for this tournament. So, Wes comes out, Wesley Snipes' character, Sidney Dean. Sidney Dean comes, and then they both end up training Woody's son and getting him ready for the tournament. There were a lot of surprise guests that were going to be in the movie. But that's just a one glance over what was supposed to happen. But they've ruined that with the last piece of garbage they put out. They could still do the movie, though, I think. Oh, 100%. Now, for all of the rest of you, it's time for the Patreon version of this. That's right, good folks. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming by. And I hope to see you guys, or some of you, a lot of you, on the Patreon. Because now we can take this to the level it needs to go to as we get to that next level. All right, Patreons, let's get ready to go into the new sub-terminal, because now it's showtime. All right, it's time to take my glasses off of this. The rest of y'all on YouTube, thank you. We'll be back again. We enjoyed having you.